Hello. So in this video, we're going to talk about the enthymeme. This is a very, very ancient approach to argumentation, an ancient approach to structuring a claim. It goes back at least as far as Aristotle's rhetoric, in which he sort of lays this out as a type of syllogism. Now, I've done a video on Aristotelian syllogisms before. Basically, this is a structure of argument in which you have a major premise. So that is a broad observation or truth about the world. Then you have a minor premise, a statement about the immediate case being discussed, and then a conclusion drawn about the immediate case based on what the larger principle tells you. The enthymeme is a species of syllogism. It doesn't quite work the same way, though. The enthymeme is structured more like what we would typically consider an argumentative claim, in that you have three basic components: the claim, the reason, and the assumptions, or the warrant. In the Toulmin model, this is called warrant. So the claim is the statement being made, the thing that you are trying to persuade the audience of. The reason is the reason why you think that, or why the thing you think should be done, why you believe the audience should take your particular view. And then the assumption is the thing that readers or listeners need to accept in order for that argument to hold up. So this is a form of informal logic. This is the kind of logic that we would use in day-to-day discussions, rather than formal logic in which you have a very sort of limited range of what actually counts as formal rhetoric, but your proofs are going to be absolute. So mathematics, for instance, is built in formal logic. Rhetoric, argumentation, is built in informal logic. So to give you an example, if I say the US government should forgive student loan debt because that would benefit the economy, what I have there is a claim, a reason, and then there is an assumption that underlies that. So the claim is the US government should forgive student loan debt. This would be the thing that I am trying to convince readers or listeners to believe. That's the claim that I am making. I'm putting that idea forward. The reason is because it will benefit the economy. Now, I would need to support that with further evidence, and that's where you get into the Toulmin model and where that becomes really, really useful. But that would be the reason that I am making the claim that I'm making. Because this would benefit the economy, we should do this. Now, there's actually a number of underlying assumptions here, but I would say the key underlying assumption that readers or listeners need to accept is that benefiting the economy is a good enough reason to implement this policy, right? Because if we look at benefiting the economy and say, yeah, but that's not really relevant to whether or not people have to pay back their student loan debts, then this argument is not going to be persuasive, right? If we as listeners, readers, viewers, whatever, of this argument don't accept the connection between the claim and the reason, then the whole thing falls apart. So this is the three-part structure of the enthymeme. Basically, the idea is that you have to build your case. You have to try and build your claim, convince your audience of something based on a reason, but they need to see that that reason is valid and connected to the claim that's being made. And this is where the question of the assumption comes in. And so one of the things that's really significant with enthymemes, with successful enthymemes, is that you have to know your audience. You have to be able to gauge what they are likely to accept, what they're likely to agree with, what they're likely to disagree with. Because if they don't connect information in the ways that you want them to connect information, then it's not going to be an effective argument. you essentially will lose that argument because the link between the claim and the reason has not been established for them.